What's going on, fellas? So today I'm going to break down a few social and communication mistakes that you might be making that's either turning people off or making people lose respect for you. All right, now if you're making any of these mistakes, I need you to fix them today. Why? Because there's a general rule about social dynamics is that people never really remember what you say or even how you say it. They always remember how you make them feel, the lasting impression. So if you're making these mistakes, 9 times out of 10, your lasting impression probably sucks, all right? So let's get right into it. Take notes, pay attention. Now, first mistake that most people make that's probably making you look like a nice guy, which is highly repulsive to both men and women, is being too agreeable. Now, guys, I had a quick story. I had a good friend in college, and he used to come to me all the time about how frustrated he was, how irritated he was, how annoyed and aggravated he was about how people never respected him in conversations. And when he first came to me with this, I didn't understand why. And then I started paying close attention to how he interacted with people and also how he interacted with me. And one of the things I noticed that he was really fucking agreeable. And what I mean by that is anytime somebody will make a suggestion or recommendation, even if he made the first recommendation, anytime somebody had an opinion or a thought or a suggestion, he always let it override his. Now, there are times when people will have better ideas than you. And there are times when people may come up with better suggestions than you. But if you're always going along with people's program, and I'll give you something real simple. Let's say you're talking to somebody and they ask you what's your favorite thing to eat. And you say seafood. And then a person replies with, oh man, I don't really like seafood. And then you follow along with, yeah, seafood ain't really that good. Sometimes I eat it. I don't really like it, but I eat it sometimes. That's you basically changing your whole idea about your favorite food just because they have a certain opinion about it. All right, G, so you got to stop doing that. What that shows is one, like I said, it shows you're a nice guy. Which means is that you'll do anything to please a person. You'll say anything. You'll go along with anything. You'll probably eat some shit you're allergic to just to impress the person. And usually guys do this with women. All right, fellas. And it's probably why you're watching this video, because you're probably making some communication mistakes with women that's throwing them off or making them ghost you or reject you. All right, guys. So we're going to fix this today. Stop being so agreeable. One word you need to practice, fellas, and it's my favorite word, is no. All right, G, practice the word no. It's probably the easiest word to say. And the crazy part about this is most babies, this is their first word. This was both of my sons' first word. No. They came out the womb saying no to every question. Even if they was hungry and you ask them if they want food, they say no. Practice the word no, G. So men don't have a problem with saying no because you knew how to say no when you were 2 years old. It's just over time you ended up becoming a people pleaser. Alright, guys, next social mistake that you might be making that's making people lose respect for you is talking too much. Another one of my favorite words and something that you should practice is silence. And I'm going to specify this, fellas, especially with women. This is something I want you to practice. I want you to practice being vague. See, a lot of guys think that they have to be very specific when they answer questions to women. Let's say a woman asks you what you do for work. Most guys will not only tell the woman his actual position at the actual company he works at, but most guys will tell the woman how long he's been working there, his day-to-day duties, when his next pay raise gonna be, whether or not his bosses consider him for promotion. Gee, you gotta shut up sometimes. Because anything, this is a life lesson, all right, fellas? Anything that you give people too much of, it loses value. So another thing you got to practice and learn is the law of scarcity. You got to pull back sometimes on your words. All right. Everything does not deserve a full explanation. Every text message does not deserve a long paragraph reply. All right. Sometimes it's okay to say okay. So if you want to get more respect from people, put more value on your words. Be more selective when you speak. It's going to make people actually listen when you do speak. All right, next communication mistake you might be making, fellas. And we're going to go with nonverbal communication, and that's weak body language. And I'll go down a list of a couple weak body language cues you might be giving off. One of the things you could be doing is slouching, either when you're walking, standing, or sitting. Another thing is lack of eye contact or weak eye contact. And when I say weak eye contact, I mean you can't focus. Some people don't make eye contact at all. Like they look to the ground or they look up the whole time. But weak eye contact is you're looking in a person's peripheral. You're looking up and down. Every time they say something to you, you only hold eye contact for about 3 seconds and you look down because you're nervous, insecure, scared, not used to talking to people, whatever the case is. But this is making people lose respect for you. Also, subtle things like weak handshakes. Men, shake a man's hand correctly. It's very simple. Just reach your hand out, grab his hand, squeeze it just enough so you don't break his fingers, but just enough to where he feel it. All right, fellas, simple thing. The worst thing in the world, G, is for you to give a sloppy, fishy, moist handshake, bro. So wipe your hands on your pants first, bro, and give a nice, firm handshake, G. Very simple. And also, fellas, I give you a gem when you're talking to women. When you're standing in front of a woman and you're talking to her, fellas, get rid of the diagonal stance. Like she's facing you and you kind of turn like 45 degrees. Be open and wide and face her. Because when you're standing like this kind of away from her, you look scared, you look timid, and you look unapproachable and you don't look engaged with the woman. Stand wide, open your legs, let your nuts breathe, and talk to the woman. All right, fellas? But weak body language is a cardinal sin in social skills and communication. All right, guys? Next one. All right, guys, let's go a little bit deeper, all right? Next communication mistake you're making that's turning people off and making them lose respect for you is not setting boundaries. All right, guys? I saw some video the other day about some guy talking about you can't set boundaries with women anymore because women gonna do what they want to do, so you should just let them do what they want to do. I'm like, gee, that's the worst mistake in the world that you can make, is to not set boundaries with the people that's in your life. All right, now if you got people that you don't want to deal with, or people that you don't want to talk to, or people you are not interested in being involved with, you really don't got to set boundaries. I mean, you probably got to set some passive boundaries so they don't disrespect you on a surface level. But bro, if you're interacting with a woman every day, or a friend or a family member, it is a must that you set boundaries. Because if you don't and you give people an inch, it is human nature for them to take a mile. I got this pet peeve about my name. And I hate when people call me out my name. I hate when people call other people out their name. So one of the boundaries that I have when it comes to communication is if anybody meet me, you have a plethora of ways to address me. You can call me Keith, KD, Mr. Davis, whatever you like. But if you call me anything else, I will check it initially. Why? Because I don't want you getting in a habit or develop a pattern of calling me out my name. And everybody who I've done this with has high respect for me because they know I take pride in my damn name, which every human being should, right? So fellas, you must set boundaries, even on small things. If you hear or see anybody do or say something that is not aligning with your program and what you see fit as far as respecting you, you must say something. I'm not saying you got to crash out, but you check it at the level of the offense. Simple as that, all right, G? So if you're not setting boundaries, it's not a coincidence why you're probably not getting respect from people. All right, last one, and this is going to go along with talking too much, and that's over explaining yourself. Now, here's a caveat to this one. There will be times where you fucked up, and you're going to have to give the person an explanation as to why you fucked up. Ain't nobody perfect. All right, G, but I'll say this. Just because you piss somebody off based on your actions or how you think, and they don't like it, and they have some opposed feeling about it, that does not mean you have to explain yourself. I'll give you an example. Let's say a woman disrespect you, and it's to the point to where you fed up and you had enough, and you make the decision to, let's say, kick her out your house. Gee, you do not have to explain yourself as to why you made the decision to make this woman exit your humble abode. Even if she give you a 21 question survey as to why you kicked her out, it don't matter. You do not have to explain yourself. See, during COVID, I was one of them people who didn't wear a mask. And I was real adamant about wearing a mask. And at the corporate job I was working, I always had people coming up to me, why you don't want to wear a mask? Why you not vaccinated and all this stuff? And I was like, gee, I ain't got to explain myself to y'all. I don't know any of y'all. I don't got to go home to any of y'all. I don't pay any of y'all bills. None of y'all pay my bills. I ain't fucking none of y'all. I don't have to explain myself. And I'm going to be honest, 75% of the people at that company did not like me. Now, the 75% of the people that didn't like me, it really didn't matter. What they felt about me didn't make decisions a whole weight anyway. But one thing they had for me was respect. Why? Because I wasn't about to bend a break, and I definitely wasn't about to explain myself to them. And on some cordial, polite shit. Gee, I'm just not about to explain myself to you. I said no. So when you master this word I spoke about earlier, the word no, the next level is mastering not explaining yourself after you say the word no. All right, G, you are a man. If you make a decision about something and you know that decision is right and it's for the best, not only for you, but for everybody else, you really don't have to explain yourself. Now, there may be times where you have to make somebody understand why you did something, but at a certain point, G, I said what I said. All right, fellas, so these were 5 social mistakes. There are many more, but these are 5 big ones that you might be making that's making people lose respect for you. All right, G? So I appreciate you guys for tuning in today. Share this with a homeboy who's making these mistakes as well. All right? It's your boy, KD. We out of here, baby.